All right, folks, buckle up. We've got a wild ride ahead today as we dive into the latest political circus surrounding Donald Trump and the venerable Kennedy Center. This clip is a masterclass in progressive outrage, selective memory, and some truly spectacular mental gymnastics. We're talking about everything from alleged laziness to monument building, and apparently even marble shopping is a cardinal sin now. But don't worry, we're here to cut through the noise, call out the nonsense, and inject a little dose of reality into this highly caffeinated debate. So grab your popcorn, because this is going to be good. Let's roll the tape and see what fresh takes the political commentariat has cooked up for us this time.
Tonight, Wicked composer Stephen Schwartz joining a growing list of artists boycotting the Trump Kennedy Center. The Oscar and Grammy award-winning composer, who is scheduled to appear at DC's most iconic performing arts center this spring, is telling CNN in a statement, quote, "It is no longer apolitical, and appearing there has become an ideological statement. As long as that remains the case, I will not appear there." The president of the Kennedy Center, Rick Grinnell, posted on social media, "The Stephen Schwartz reports are totally bogus." So take that for what you will. What's not bogus is that a lot of people are boycotting the Kennedy Center right now. And this is just one piece of all the stuff that's going on with Trump in Washington. He is trying to put a triumphal arch in. He's redoing the ballroom, making it larger than the White House itself, slapping his name on the Kennedy Center. All of this, I don't know. I mean, why do you think it's happening?
Look, I think it's symbolic of the lawlessness. I mean, there's a long history to this that I think we are seeing brought into sharp relief with Trump renaming the Kennedy Center and the White House and building the Triumphal Arch. And it was laid out best back in the 60s by a conservative writer that a lot of conservatives like me read growing up, and that was Ayn Rand. And she wrote this essay called The Monument Builders, where she went through the history of despots throughout time who built monuments to themselves while they were in power, from the pyramids all the way to Soviet Russia, where the train system that Tucker Carlson lauded a few years ago was built by the generous hands of workers who were forced to do it. And now we have Donald Trump, who's spending taxpayer dollars to honor himself by building monuments to himself. There is no better or more on the nose of someone's authoritarian tendencies than their desire to build monuments to themselves. And so I think it's quite right and appropriate that entertainers would say, you know what, I'm not going to be party to that, especially if this building is now symbolic of a desire for this man to build a monument to himself.
Okay, Brad, I'm curious as a conservative as well. What's your take on that? Because I think it is a pretty damning argument.
The argument, the people who are canceling their shows at the Kennedy Center are rich liberals who can afford to lose the money. They're hurting the IATSE members, the electricians, the stagehands, people who work on contract basis every time those shows come in, and they can't replace that work. They're hurting school kids who take field trips and go see shows at the Kennedy Center. They're hurting people who want to be exposed to the arts in the area. It's a selfish virtue signaling exercise, and it's really dangerous.
Whoa, hold on a minute. Selfish virtue signaling exercise that's hurting the stagehands? That's a classic, folks. Let's unpack this. So, the argument here is that artists who are supposedly rich liberals are boycotting the Kennedy Center because Trump is involved, and in doing so, they're actually hurting the working class people who rely on those shows. But let's be real. The little guy argument here is a smokescreen. These artists aren't canceling their shows out of spite for the stagehands. They're doing it because they want to make a political statement. And guess what? That's their right. But let's not pretend they're martyrs for the working class. If they truly cared about the stagehands, they'd find another venue, or better yet, protest in a way that doesn't impact livelihoods. Instead, they choose the dramatic, headline-grabbing gesture, knowing full well it creates a ripple effect. This isn't about protecting workers, it's about political theater. It's the same crowd that will lecture you about climate change while flying in private jets, or demand you eat the rich from their multi-million-dollar mansions. The hypocrisy is so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. The idea that these boycotts are dangerous because they politicize the Kennedy Center is also rich, considering the very act of boycotting is a political act. You can't have it both ways. Either it's a legitimate form of protest or it's dangerous politicization. Pick a lane. But from where I'm standing, it looks like they're just upset that their carefully curated cultural institutions are no longer exclusively their playground. It's always politicization when it's their ox being gored, isn't it?
We don't need to have the Kennedy Center politicized because the president appointed the members of the board. By the way, every president's done that.
But the president named himself on the building. How is that not politicizing the Kennedy
Corinne
Center?
Jean-Pierre was on the board of the board.
But did she put her name on the building? Did she put Joe Biden's name on the building?
It's an executive order. The name will probably come off. But you're worried about the...
changed the bylaws to make sure that some members could not vote, but only presidential appointed members could vote, so that only President Trump's members would be able to vote, and that's why you got a unanimous vote to put his name on the side of the building. That happened before this vote took place.
The Washington Post contacted all the previous ex officio members. They said they've never really participated in voting in those things.
No. The bylaw change is a fact.
That's different.
The bylaw thing is a fact. That happened.
Never voted.
Wait, are you trying to? Are you
The
saying?
ex-officio members have not been voting
Are you
members in
saying
the
to me that
past.
the bylaw change is not a fact? That I said something that wasn't a fact?
I'm saying that you're shading.
So your no is yes.
No,
Your no
you're
is
shading.
yes.
You're trying to convince the audience something important that's not.
I'm not shading.
I don't know, Brad. It is significant.
He said people that are losing out, like children that are losing out. Well, children will get to learn as to why people are canceling these shows. They will learn, oh, it's because of Trump. And wait, what did Trump do? Oh, because Trump is a disgusting human being. Okay, don't be like that. So those children are going to learn. And Trump, I just have to say, he's just so damn pathetic. The real reason Trump is doing this, like this, putting his name on these different things, anything he can find, it's pretty quite sad when you think about it. It's because he knows no one will do it for him. He knows when he's gone, he's hated by most people, and rightfully so. And someone with his megalomaniacal personality, just things like that is needed for him to keep going. He's such a weak, sad man. This is why I've called him one of the weakest men I've ever seen. He has all the money in the world, guys. Literally had never, ever had a hard day in his life. Like, I grew up in dirt, from the dirt. So I have a certain, let's just say, animosity towards people like this. I literally had mice crawling over my feet before as a child, not just once. I'm so sorry I gave you that detail. I just get pissed at people like this. Trump, who has been handed every single thing in life and still so damn angry and cruel and degenerate, like what he did with Rob Reiner after he passed away, murdered by his own son. Like, Trump is just a disgusting person. Like, what do you have to be so upset about, the world about? And you're president. You're just a shit person, despicable human being. And good on people not performing at that center. Who would want to perform for a multi-felon fraudster, very likely PDF file, or a minimum covering up for it? Disgusting bigot. Who would want to perform for something like that? Put your name on whatever you want, Trump. It will be taken down and pissed on as soon as you're gone.
It is significant that in the past, ex officio members could vote and
did not vote.
And did not, sure. They could, but they did not.
That's why the title is ex officio. That's what it means.
Under the Trump regime, they changed the rules so that they could not vote, and then proceeded to put on the table a vote
that they would have
Trump's name on the building that they wanted to be unanimous and was only because the ex officio members couldn't vote.
Let me try to settle this.
So,
we don't even have to spend time worrying about ex officio members or the regs, because there is a law that was passed by Congress that makes it illegal to rename the Kennedy Center. I am amazed by the law all the time. I didn't realize this even existed. There is a specific law on the books, a federal law. Let me just read it. It was passed when the Kennedy Center was built. It says, no additional memorials or plaques in the nature of memorials shall be designated or installed in the public areas of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. There's some minor exceptions. You can rename a seat for a donor or that kind of thing. But the law says you can't rename this place. So I don't even know who cares what the board does.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You do want to get out in front of it. You do want all the members to vote so that you don't have this issue in the first place. Because this is the Trump methodology, which is I do it first. And then I wait for the courts. Exactly. And then I wait for the courts to check me or not, but it's already done. So I knocked down the East Wing.
Charles, you're exactly right. This has been,
and then I let you sue me, but it's already
100%.
And the couple of commissions that are responsible for overseeing a change like the ballroom. He's stacking the deck with his people so that they can just give him a blank check.
I mean, Charles is exactly right. Donald Trump's approach to the litigation in the courts, since he was in New York, since before he was a president, when he was in real estate, was act first, and then you got to go get a lawyer. You have to be the plaintiff.
Ever, you tell
have
me
to come sue me. And look, it's effective. He wins a lot because it's better to be the defendant. The plaintiff's the one with the burden of proof. Plaintiff's the one that's got to go hire a lawyer. And he's doing it again here. But look,
also, if the building is knocked down, what are you going to do?
Right,
You can win, but it's gone.
Ellie's heard me say this before, but I mean, he brought that philosophy into the presidency. I mean, he said to us more than one occasion in the Oval Office, look, what I learned in business is you don't threaten to sue someone. They wave you off. You sue them, and then they settle. And said that to us. That's his strategy.
Contracts, okay? So he signs a contract when he's president the first time to give the leases for DC's public golf courses, 50-year leases, to an entity. Then he comes in the second time and says, never mind, rips up the lease. Why? Who knows? Because he wants to redecorate or redesign these golf courses. Are there not more important things for him to be doing? He was marble shopping today for parts of the ballroom. I mean, he is the president of the United States. Inflation is a problem for Americans. You know, people are worried about their financial well-being. Are there not other more important things for him to be doing than these things?
I think you could say a lot of things about Donald Trump. Saying that he's unproductive or isn't working hard enough is not one of them. I mean, he's closed the southern border. He's gotten gas prices to their lowest level.
He didn't come down to work until 11 a.m.
He's literally one of the laziest presidents in modern American history.
Whoa, hold on a minute. One of the laziest presidents in modern American history? Are we talking about the same guy who ran a global business empire, hosted a hit TV show, and then launched a successful presidential campaign that completely upended the political establishment? I mean, I don't know about you, but that doesn't exactly scream lazy to me. It screams relentless, driven, maybe even obsessed, but certainly not lazy. This is the classic move, isn't it? When you can't attack the policies with substance, you go after the person, and when that fails, you just make stuff up. He didn't come down to work until 11 a.m. Really? Is that the new metric for presidential diligence? Because last I checked, running the free world isn't a 9-to-5 desk job where you punch a clock. It's a 24/7 high-stakes pressure cooker where decisions are made around the clock, not just during typical office hours. And let's not forget, this is the same man who, love him or hate him, was constantly in the headlines, constantly driving the news cycle, and constantly, working the room, the phones, the rallies, and the negotiations. You don't achieve that level of omnipresence and political impact by sleeping in until noon. This isn't some college kid's summer internship where attendance is optional. The idea that he was lazy just doesn't square with the sheer volume of activity, the endless rallies, the constant media engagement, and the nonstop controversy that surrounded his presidency. It sounds less like an objective assessment and more like wishful thinking from folks who just couldn't stand the guy and are desperately trying to rewrite history. It's like calling a hurricane a gentle breeze because you don't like its direction. Come on, give me a break. This isn't just shading. It's outright fabrication dressed up as a profound insight.
I'm old enough to remember when he was castigating Barack Obama for playing golf and literally said, I will be working so hard for you that I will never go out and play golf. Those are his words, 2017. And now he has been playing golf every single weekend and sometimes during the week. What he is good at doing is disguising that in destruction. He sits behind that. He really works the desk. He really works the desk. He signs every piece of paper they put in front of him because that looks like something. He makes a lot of proclamations because that looks like something. And he tells other people to go do destructive things because that looks like he's doing something. But in fact, he is one of the laziest presidents we have had in modern American history.
You're wound up, but I thought you were about to give him credit.
Go ahead, Lydia.
It seems like people are constantly outraged about all the things he's doing. I didn't realize that he was so lazy. But look, he is a builder. He spent his entire career building, doing real estate deals. I don't think most Americans really care that much. He passed an executive order saying he wants federal buildings to have classical architecture. I think people like that. He's not taking taxpayer money to build the East Wing, We needed a ballroom. I don't think that if you look at each of these issues, the American people really care.
But I
about
would
it.
say
no,
that
guys, we gotta
construction
leave it
takes a
there.
lot less effort than
We do have to
building
leave it
things.
there. Ahead for us.
And Republicans don't give any damn about arts or history. They literally go against all of that. And like the East Wing is going to be bigger than the White House. You know how stupid that's going to look? And anyways, I know this story seems not really that important, but you would be surprised how easy this hits home for people. Not everyone is political junkies like us, but this is something that just cuts through. It's very easy to see what Trump is doing. The White House is under demolition. Republicans silent on this issue. White House is under demolition. And wait, what? A ballroom worth $300 million is being built while I can't afford groceries? Wait, paid by billionaires? Obviously to curry favor? And wait, will I ever get to use that ballroom? Of course you won't. You're not one of the elites. And wait, is Trump going to use that ballroom to have Scott Jennings belly dance for him? Yeah, he is. And it's just easy, right, to see what's happening here. Now he's picking out different marble, like all at the time where people are struggling. Consumer confidence at its all-time low. People are losing their health care, living paycheck to paycheck. And look what this idiot is doing. Republicans completely silent. I'm telling you guys, they have no plan. No plan for health care. No plan for affordability. They're literally against these things. You pick up yourself by the bootstrap. We're going to give another tax cut to the rich. Shut up. Here's some bigotry and racist red meat. Chew on that and get distracted. Right?
Yes. The classic Republicans have no plan, they just offer bigotry and racist red meat argument. This is the intellectual equivalent of throwing a smoke bomb and hoping no one notices you're out of ideas. It's the go-to insult when you can't actually counter an argument or propose a better solution. Instead of engaging on policy, you just declare your opponents bigots and racists, wave your hands, and walk away. Let's be clear. Reducing complex issues like healthcare, affordability, and economic policy to Republicans just want to be bigoted is not only intellectually lazy, it's deeply insulting to millions of voters. It's a way to shut down debate, demonize the opposition, and avoid any real discussion about conservative principles that actually do offer solutions, like fiscal responsibility, deregulation to boost the economy, and empowering individuals rather than government bureaucracies. When they say no plan for health care, what they really mean is no plan for their version of government-controlled health care. When they say no plan for affordability, they ignore the fact that conservative policies often aim to reduce the burden of government spending and regulation, which are huge drivers of inflation and cost. But it's easier to just scream racist than to actually engage with those ideas, isn't it? This isn't about policy disagreements. It's about character assassination. It's about painting half the country as irredeemable bigots, so you don't have to listen to their concerns or consider their perspectives. It's divisive, it's intellectually dishonest, and it's precisely why so many Americans feel alienated from the political discourse. Maybe, just maybe, people have legitimate concerns about government overreach, economic stagnation, or cultural shifts, and it has nothing to do with racist red meat. Just a thought.
And but hey guys, you know what? Keep checking the mailbox for those $5,000 Doge checks. What? That's right around the corner, right? Wait, what's the other one? Oh yeah, the tariff checks. Keep looking in the mail, guys. I'm sure it'll be there one day, right? Honestly, Republicans have at it with all this nonsense. Midterms is right around the corner. Affordability is a hoax, like Trump says. Effing idiots. But
And there you have it, folks. Another deep dive into the political echo chamber, where facts are fluid, narratives are crafted, and outrage is always on tap. We've seen how quickly the goalposts can move, how easily labels are thrown around, and how much effort goes into avoiding any real, substantive debate. It's a wild world out there, but we're here to make sense of it, or at least point out when it makes no sense at all. What do you think about these moments? Did I hit the nail on the head, or am I completely off base? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next takedown of political absurdity. Your support helps us keep pushing back against the narratives and bringing some much-needed common sense to the conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.